Hi, my name is Mari Bowie. I'm an attorney here at the Nieves Law Firm, and today I'm going to talk to you about what you should tell your criminal defense attorney. So, one of the most important things you should tell your criminal defense attorney is the truth. You need to tell your attorney everything that happened as it happened, and anything that may even look bad to you. You need to be able to tell that to your defense attorney because it allows us to address any argument that may be thrown our way. The worst thing you can do to an attorney is have them caught by surprise. It's much better to be able to anticipate the hits than it is to get hit out of the just blankly out of nowhere. So it's important to tell your attorney the truth. The second thing you need to tell them is your concerns. Now, obviously, if you need an attorney, you have a lot of concerns. The biggest concern that we have with some clients is their documentation status. If you are someone that is undocumented or your documentation can be affected by a criminal proceeding or even by a restraining order proceeding, it's incredibly important that you tell your attorney. That way we can limit any exposure and any consequences that you will face based on your immigration status. The second thing that's incredibly important that you need to tell your attorney in regards to a concern is that you need to tell them how this may affect your livelihood. So if you have a specific job or something like that can be affected by a criminal proceeding or restraining order proceeding, it's incredibly important that you tell your attorney, because we can also craft or find ways to where your job may not be affected. The next thing you need to tell your attorney is a story as accurate as you can. Who was there? What was the time? What was the weather? Things like that. It's important, if you can, to remember those things, because all of those things may not matter alone, but in conjunction or under the circumstance, it may. Another concern that's incredibly important that we need to know as attorneys is any previous convictions. Do you have any prior history? Things like that. Another thing that's really important for your attorney to know is just about your personal life. Most of the time, especially in criminal proceedings, the DA and the judge and even a jury is looking at you for one very brief moment in your life. And one moment in our life is not indicative of who we are as people. So it's incredibly important that we as attorneys and just people in general see who you are as a person. Lastly, it's important that you tell your attorney your financial situation. Now, having an attorney, we likely will know about your financial situation, but it's important to know further because there are certain court fines and fees that may be associated when going to court. And so there are waivers and things that we can ask the judge or ask the court for if you have a very tough financial situation. So it's important that we know that, because it's not only minimizing your criminal exposure, but also minimizing your financial exposure, because that also matters as well. So it's important that we know that too. To wrap up, it's important that we know the truth. It's important that we know your documentation status. It's important we know about your prior convictions. It's important that we know any witnesses, evidence, or anything like that. It's important that we know your job aspects, and it's also important that we know your financial situation.